Sorry about that. Excuse me. Somebody walked by with their bike and just wanted to, I guess, see what it was doing. But I'm trying to make changes in my life because the decisions I've made didn't really take me to where I wanted to go, and I didn't really accomplish the goals that I set for myself. Because I was like, at this age that I'm at now, I expected and wanted to have like a lot of things going for me, but they haven't. So I'm rethinking everything, and I kind of feel like the universe is really, you know, mm, creating situations, especially in my workplace, so that I find another job. And for me, and me doing that actually will help me to accomplish the new goals that I've set out for myself for my future. And I don't want to say what they are because every time I say something, it doesn't work out. And I'm going to keep it to myself, and I'm just going to, because I want it to happen. And I'm hoping that it will happen for me. But yeah, this year I'm just getting to know myself again. It's been how many months that I've been by myself now? It's like 6 months, 7 months now. Um, I'm just trying to get to know myself again. I'm trying to, after being in a relationship for so long, you know, it still hurts once in a while. I get, very emotional and start crying and stuff. But every day, I find myself uh, basically feeling better and better. It's hard when you break up with somebody, especially after being with them for like over 10 years, and you're so used to having that person there, and then they're not there, and it's like you love that person no matter what, but you're not in love with them, and it's like when your feelings change for someone, it's kind of hard to stay, and you just have to try and do what's best for yourself. And even though it hurts you, it hurts the other person, but it's why stay together when you're both not happy? You know? It doesn't make sense. If you're both not happy and you stay together, you're going to be miserable. And you're going to start arguing more. And there'll be the same issues you argue over, the same arguments over and over again. And it's not healthy for either one of you because you're both like you're both like wasting your energy and draining yourselves of energy by arguing all the time. And I understand every situation is different too, because it's like some people have kids together, and it's like, yeah, when you have kids, that changes the situation too. But the thing is, you still have to think like this. It's like you love your child, and I'm not saying this is the easiest thing to do, but if you have a child or children with someone, if you and the mom are not getting along, or you and your girlfriend are not getting along, you know, I understand financially it's gonna be a big, you have to support her, you have to support the child, or if you just support the child, you have to find another work, you have to find another job. But you know what? Your peace of mind is more important. And not letting your child see you and the mom arguing all the time, or being in a very tense situation, or you finding yourself having to stay at work later, or You're finding every excuse to not to go home because you're not happy with your situation. And I know you have a child and you love your child, of course. But just because you have a child with someone and you're not getting along, it doesn't mean you have to stay because of the child. I know that seems cold and hard to say, but you know what? Why? Think of it like this: be the child. Do you really want to see your parents arguing every single day? Do you really want to, because you have to think about this like your child or your children, they're always listening. Hearing their parents argue, and it's going to affect them later on too, and depending how the arguments are, sometimes it gets physical, 555, sometimes it gets physical. But you don't, your children don't need that, they don't need to feel the negative energy coming from both parents, having that, they need to continue to be in that harmony and that love, the love energy. They need to continue feeling that because it affects them later on where they're going to start choosing the wrong people to be with. They'll choose a wrong guy or girl to be with, depending on, if you have a boy or a girl. They're going to find themselves in very bad relationships. I'm not saying this is going to happen all the time, but in most cases, depending on how severe you know, severe the arguments are. But it's affecting your kids, and you have to think about your child. Think about your child, think about your kids, and think about your state of mind and your well-being. If you stay in a situation where both of you are not happy and you're doing it because your child, like your child, it's not helping your child, it's not helping you, and it's not helping the mom. No one's winning in that situation. You know, it does help financially because yeah, you're together, you know, but it's better to try and, you know, make the environment less stressful, less negative for your child to be picking up on, because children are very receptive to energy at very young ages. That's why they have imaginary friends, because their mind, their third eye, their crown chakra, they can still see both worlds. They haven't been they haven't been told, like, um how do I want to say this, like they haven't been told the no, it's not good to do this, no, it's not good to that, oh, it's just imaginary, oh, it's all in your head, oh, there's nothing there. you know they still see everything. They're still susceptible to all these things. And just, having a very loving environment is best for kids. And that's why it's like, you can't just pick someone based on looks alone, you know and when you notice that things are changing, like, don't, I know it's very hard, but everyone will come, they'll come, you know prolonging your happiness. It's not being selfish wanting to be happy yourself. Okay, it's not being selfish to be happy, for yourself to feel happy. It's not selfish. That's what's right for you. And if things have issues are starting to happen in your relationship, they're happening for a reason. That's like the universe and God and the whole, it's like the universe telling you that your contract with this person is finished. Your contract with whoever it is finished. And it's like, even if you're conscious or you're not conscious, if you're aware of this, your contract with that person's finished, and it's time for you to move on and make things happy. It doesn't mean that you don't have to be in your child's life. Of course, be in your child's life. Of course, be there for your child. Of course, you know. And some women are going to give you a lot of problems, you know. And then there's the guys that also give you a lot of problems. I see things from both sides, you know. I've seen situations from both sides, you know, and it's really sad that, you know, it's sad. It's sad because I've seen women become very vindictive and very, you know, always wanting revenge, you know. It's not very good. People are just so nosy. Here comes some more people. But yeah, people are, you know, I've seen women get very vindictive, very, you know, oh, I'm going to take this man for everything they've got, and I'm going to make sure he suffers and pays. But you know what? And guys do the same thing. Oh, I'm going to make sure this and that, and, you know, the same thing. But you guys don't fail to realize that every decision and choice that you make in your life, excuse me, especially when you say, oh, you want to seek revenge or become, if you want to seek revenge or you want to see that person suffer and becoming very vindictive, it comes back to you. That's why you're either by yourself for many years or many months, because it's time for you to go over and rethink about everything, all the decisions and choices that you've made, you know? You have to think about that. That's why we have this time alone, this time of being single. You know, it's rethinking and trying to change. It's rethinking and trying to change and make things better in your life. That's basically what it's a time period for doing that. Rethink, you know, and these Mercury retrogrades, they help too as well. But that period of you being by yourself is to rethink, think about things, and don't close your heart up to love. And I, you know, I've went through this already again, and I'm going through it again, and it hurts. It hurts a lot. I've cried many, many nights. I've cried myself to sleep. I've cried because I wanted things to be different. I was expecting a lot. I was expecting more. You know, and it just wasn't supposed to happen with this person. You know, whatever happened, like if you have a child with someone and then everything's great, you have a kid and then everything goes bad. I'm just saying, like, you're arguing and this and that, like, you have to compromise. And if you try to compromise and one person is trying to control the other, and you know, it doesn't help. You can't control people. You can't make people do what you want them to do. You know, it might work for a little while, but then that person is going to find the confidence, find the strength to leave you, and then you're going to be left by yourself. You know, you can't control people. You can't make people do what you want them to do. You can't make someone be with you who doesn't want to be with you. And you know, these are things I've learned and I'm learning. You can't force anyone to be with you who doesn't want to be with you. And it just reminds me, you know, of this soul connection that I have. I mean, I I'm I have very strong feelings for this person, but doesn't mean that person has the same strong feelings for me. And I can't force anyone to be with me who doesn't want to be with me. I can't force anyone to be with me who doesn't want to be with me. And it's not that I'm waiting on him. It's like I'm waiting, but I'm not waiting because I'm still trying to continue with my life. And like I said, I know that the more I start learning to love myself is the more that it helps my partner, my soulmate, my partner, my soul connection. And the more he learns to love himself is the more that, he could possibly be drawn to me. You never know. The universe is the universe is a magical place. It's very magical. You never know what will happen. But I'm really hoping that I can actually get to know my twin flame, my soul to soul connection, my soul connection with this other being. Um, but I can't force it. Making these videos help me though. Just getting stuff off my chest and other people understanding, and you know, it helps a lot. Ow. But anyways, I am going to say goodbye. Have a great rest of Sunday evening, and I'll see you guys soon. Light and love, and I pray that angels continue to surround each and every one of you. And thank you for watching my video. And even if you subscribe, thank you. Have a good evening. Bye.